Our presentation is on non-heme iron versus heme iron. The presenters in this case are Katie Yee, Andrea Canasas, and Christina Guevara.
Principle, what's the difference? Properties of non-heme iron and heme iron. Heme iron is composed of hemoglobin and myoglobin derived from animal products, whereas non-heme iron is composed of haptoglobin, hemoplexin, lactoferrin, ferritin, and transferrin. Classification of these two are that non-heme iron in plant-based products are cereals, tofu, chocolate, legumes, peas, beans, molasses, grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, lentils, and seeds, whereas heme iron is found in animal products such as beef, chicken, seafood, and fish. It is also found in dairy or egg products. The identification of non-heme iron and heme iron is through a magnet. The body's take on it. The two types of iron are absorbed differently. Heme iron is more readily absorbed compared to non-heme iron. 95% of the iron in our body is heme iron. Why do we need iron? What happens if we don't have enough iron? Our body starts taking reserve iron from our bones, muscles, and organs. If our bodies are unable to compensate for the lack of iron, our blood cells shrink and contain less hemoglobin. And due to the less hemoglobin, we have less oxygen distribution in our body. So how can we add iron to the body? We consume foods such as meat, poultry, seafood, such as clams, or beans such as soybeans, lentils, and spinach. And we can also take iron dietary supplements as well as iron fortified cereal and bread.
Materials. Why fortified cereal? It increases dietary intake of many nutrients, including iron. It also has reduced iron deficiency anemia in the US and is also one of the largest sources for micronutrient intake. Why legume root nodules? It contains a bacteria responsible for heme protein called hemoglobin plays a key role in meat alternatives. It is also used in meat replacements because it mimics the juices and flavors of real meat. For this experiment, we use a test tube or a sandwich bag, fortified cereal, a pipette, water, and a magnet. Expectations. To demonstrate the presence of iron, we will use fortified cereals along with an iron magnet. To observe legume nodules, we pull bean plants and observe small nodules. From it, we will try to observe the higher amounts of protein from these nodules when cut in half. We will also examine the non-heme iron that is added to fortified cereals. The experiment will be focused on the appearance and size of iron, as well as the observation of its separation from foods. Expectation. What didn't work? We expected to see abundant nodules on the legumes Dr. H grew, but unfortunately it was too soon to harvest. In the picture shown to the left, shortly after, we expected to see on the legumes. We expected to see the color of the heme present in the legumes shown prominently when cut in half. Evaluation. What occurs here is the attraction of non-heme iron to the magnet. This occurs by suspension of crushed cereal in water along with the use of strong magnet to attract the iron flakes. We evaluated that the mixture with water allows the iron to separate more readily from the cereal bits. The reason for this is because a reduction of the size and mass of the cereal flakes allows the magnet to pull the iron out more.
Results. The movement of the magnet showed the added iron inside the cereal. This is now an alternative way of having non-heme irons in our day-to-day diet. Cereals contain abundant amount of fortified iron due to the lack of iron in the US. 1 cup of serving of Total Raisin Bran contains 17.35 milligrams of iron. It is said that now fortified cereal contains 100% of daily intake of iron. Although Dr. H's legumes were not able to show the soybean nodules in the legumes he grew, we do know that it is possible to use plants as an alternative to heme iron. DNA of the soy hemoglobin is inserted into yeast and is mass produced to make the Impossible Burgers. The Impossible Burgers is a great example of innovation in food science. This is a quote directly from their website. Since Impossible Burgers made with lean hemoglobin generates 87% less greenhouse gases, requires 95% less land, and uses 75% less water to produce than burgers from cows, it would be grossly irresponsible to the planet and the people not to pursue this path. So, taking away what we learned from this experiment and the video shown by Impossible Burgers, we now should see that in the industry, food industry, we have created alternatives to supplementing iron. For fortified foods, we can find vitamins as well as metals in baby formula, skim milk, yogurt, and whole grain bread. For meat alternatives, we have options like Tofurky, Beyond Meat, Morningstar, and Light Life Food. These are becoming more popular in day-to-day diets.